Hello, and welcome to AEC Interactive, the Unreal Engine project slash template for architects and ArchViz artists who are looking for an easy way, just like me, to bring our architectural projects to life, to make them interactable, explorable, in the fastest and easiest way possible. So, when you first open the project, you will be welcomed at the gallery level, and we have three main levels. We have the gallery where I laid down or put everything that we have so far in one level where you can read about it in the display panels. We have the demonstration level, which is work in progress level of an exterior building where we also learn more about the points of interest. So that's the main focus of this level for now. And we have the thumbnail studio because when you want to use the customization options, you may want to capture thumbnails for your options and place these thumbnails here in the UI texture. So in this video, I'm going to just get us familiarized with the template slash project, and in upcoming videos, we will take a look or in-depth look of each tool we make and how to use it. So I'm going to click on play and I'm going to start walking around the project. So ASDW is, of course, will move us around, and the mouse to look around. And in the first person pawn or character, we have the ability also to zoom in and out. So with the scroll on the mouse, you can simply zoom in and out, and at any time you can press on shift to move around. Now, to bring the taskbar, you can press on T on the keyboard, and this will bring the taskbar. If you want, you can press on P to bring the pause menu, and you can press on M at any time if there is a floor plan to bring the floor plan. I'm going to press on T again, and we will start with the most important feature from my perspective, which is the view mode. We have four main pawns or view modes. We have the first person, we have the third person, we have the drone, and we have the top down. So the third person is simply third person, and in an upcoming video we're gonna learn how we can retarget this to meta-humans. You can use the mouse to look around, you can press space to jump, and ASDW to move around. We have the drone mode, and it's of course the drone mode, so when you are in this mode you can fly around the project, and again notice how smooth the camera animation is. You can press on Q to move lower and on E to go up. Okay, and we also have the top-down mode where we can see the project from an iBird view, and we have a point where you can orbit around. So that's the main benefit of this pawn here. So I can use the mouse to zoom in and out, and we have some options and limits that we can set. And if you move, you notice how fast the camera is, and that's by design, it's on purpose. So for example, I'm going to press on escape and I'm going to show you here. So this is our mode, and here we have some settings. We have the arm length and we have the camera speed. And the camera speed is connected to the arm length. So right now the arm length is set, the maximum value of it is set to 4000, and thus the maximum zoom out, if you will. But if we increase this to a city, so later in the demonstration level, you will see like this is set to a much bigger value, and we have the maximum speed. It relates to that. Let me show you the maximum zoom out we have. So I'm going to scroll out, and as you can see, this is now the maximum zoom. Now I'm going to set this to, let's say, 10,000, and I'm going to click on play, and I'm going to now zoom out more, and now this is the maximum zoom. So you can set the maximum zoom and you can set the minimum zoom. On the minimum zoom, we will have the default camera speed or the base camera speed, and on the maximum zoom, we're gonna have the maximum camera speed. And you can set these settings from here in our taskbar. So if you want for the default spring arm length to be lower or higher, you can play with this value from here. And this, of course, should not be more than the maximum spring arm length, because right now this is 15,000 and this is 10,000. So if I click on play and I go to view modes and I go to top down, if I switch the zoom just once, it will be clipped. Okay, we will like jump with the zoom. So you will notice that once you play more with the template. Now I can reset these to the default values. And if you want to decrease the maximum speed, so right now it's set to 12,200, I can set it just to 1220. I can click on play and I can go to view modes, top down, and I move around nicely. So these settings here, you can play more with once you open the demonstration level. We will talk about them also in upcoming videos. And if you have any suggestions or ideas to make your life easier as you're customizing the template to your projects, let me know. Now, I'm going to click on play and I'm going to show you the second panel of our project, which is the teleport panel. When you open this, it will load or open in the middle of our screen. And notice here on the top, we have this panel here that highlights when we hover on top of it. And you can actually move this around your project or around your screen. So I'm going to click on any of the elements we have. So this will teleport us to different locations of our project. So here the minimap room is where I have a minimap. I'm going to press on M, and once I get into the domain of the minimap, it will load. And when I leave the domain of the minimap, it will unload. And the reason I have this system is because you can have multiple minimaps in your project with multiple floor plans and multiple rotations and so on. This minimap system took me so long and I'm really proud of it. So you can have multiple in your level, multiple floor plans, and with multiple rotations. If you have like 3 or 4 buildings, each building is gonna have its own minimap, like so. Let's talk about our next topic here. We have the ability to customize. So by default, you will see these here on the left and these here for walls, floors, for any architectural elements. And when you are near objects that you can customize, these icons will show up. So that's also by design. I wanted to have the ability to see icons based on minimum and maximum collision or box value that you can also set. When I am near enough, I will see this panel, and when I am far, I will not see this panel. And when I am really far, we will not see any of these. So imagine you have a project with many pieces of furniture. You don't want for all of these to overlap. So that's why we have the customization mode. So when I get near now, you will see these icons will load in and out. And when I click on customize and cancel this mode, these panels will also disappear. And these values here, this grid element we have, the walls, the interior floors, and an example list. As I said, these are for architectural elements, and these architectural elements you can easily set with an object tag. Here, as you can see, we have walls, and I can change the materials of wall objects in my project. These here, I think they are interior floors. If you have floors of the project, you can change them from here, and you can create as many lists with as many tags. This system here is scalable and it uses data tables to import the materials. So we'll talk about this system in more depth in a future lesson. Now let's go to the 3D customization room. So these are some legacy features, but I think they are also fine. Maybe I'll improve on them in the future. But when you get near an object, of course, you need to enable the customize mode. You can see these spheres, or you can see the object representations. So as I said, these are legacy because personally I prefer to have a user interface. When I click on customize, I will see my customization options, and we have one for materials, one for the meshes, and when I click, this will override the user interface, and we have one where we mix both. We have meshes and materials. So when I click, I can change my mesh, then I can change my material options, and so on. Now moving forward, I'm going to close this, and return. We have time of day, and time of day will use the sun and sky actor. So you can simply switch this to any time of day you want, and it will change. So basically that's it, easy peasy. Now, next to time of day, we have hide furniture. So let me find furniture that we can hide. Let's go to the teleport room. And here I have a little example of furniture we can hide. So this also works with tag of an object. And once you set the tag on the object, you can click to hide the furniture. Actually here, the tag, there is no tag. And here we have the tag on these meshes. So hide furniture. This will hide any furniture in your project. Now, we have lighting mode, and this will toggle the lighting mode in the engine without the materials. This is pretty self-explanatory, and sometimes I find it useful to toggle this mode to focus only on the meshes of the project. We have screenshot. Basically, it does what it says, screenshot. It will take a high resolution screenshot and save it in a specific folder that you can set its location, and you can also set the name and the date of the screenshot and the quality, and this we will discuss in upcoming lessons. Cinematic, this will use a cinematic sequence in your project. So right now I have just this sequence, but you can use any sequence you want, and you can stop, you can go back, you can open the panel to change time of day during the cinematic. So I like the idea of having interactive cinematic, and you can click here to cancel everything. Now I'm going to disable the lighting mode. Next we have surroundings, amenities, compass, and minimap. So we will talk about surroundings in a moment, but let me show you the compass because it's pretty self-explanatory. So that's the compass. Surroundings, here we have dynamic lists. We will also discuss them in more depth in the surroundings part. Here we have amenities. You can click on any of these and we will teleport to that location. And if you click again, this will teleport us back to the latest pawn we have selected. So if I have the third person mode selected and I click on surroundings and I click again, we will teleport back to the third person mode. So click and change the views to whatever you like. Click again, we are back to the third person mode. Now, the minimap, we saw it in action a little bit. No need to talk about this again. We have gallery. So let's click on the gallery and you can set two types of gallery. A global gallery that works across your project and a local gallery that works on specific objects. So let's go to the 2D customize room here and let me just disable this and let's click customize. So by the way, I forgot to mention this. At any time you can press on Alt to bring your mouse. So without Alt you can orbit the camera, but with Alt you can bring the mouse. The orbit now is over. We cannot orbit unless you click and drag. You can orbit. So that's also by design. Now speaking of the mouse, you can click on the customize. So that's how you can customize your modes. And when we click on the taskbar, this will also show us the mouse. So sometimes you don't want the taskbar, you just want the mouse. You can also do that. So on some meshes, we have the ability to enable or disable the website button and the gallery button and so on. Now we are almost done, but we are not done. So we spoke quickly about surroundings and amenities, but there is more to that. So for that, I've designed a level that, as I said, is still work in progress. It's demonstration level here. So let's open that and let's give it some seconds. And this is the building we are working with. So I want you to notice something. In the gallery here, there is no filter search, okay? And actually, if I can do something real quick, what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly select this element, this element, this element, so our points of interest, and I'm going to Control X for now. I'm going to click on play. Notice how we don't have amenities and surroundings anymore. So these are dynamic, and I'm going to press Control Z to bring these back again, and I'm going to click on play, and they are back. So the filtered search will also appear when we open a level where we see the filtered search. So here we have all these filters of these units. I'm going to click on play and I'm going to press on T to bring my taskbar. Here we see the filtered search button. So filtered search, this will teleport us to the top-down camera, and anytime you switch the view and click again, like let's go back to the first person, click on filter search, this will take us to the default view here. And I recently finished developing the double slider. So this slider here have two handles that you can click and drag to define exactly what you're looking for. So if I click here as well, I can snap this here, and if I click here, I can snap this here. And right now, by design, the left handle, wherever you click, it will also snap. So now if I click on this white line, this will bring this panel here. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. Now, we can choose the surface area we want. We can choose the budget we want, and based on the budget and the surface area, we will see specific number of units. So if we select something outside of our filter, we will see now 0 units. And if we expand our filter, you will see now 39 units. And when you click on any of these units, this will move the camera to that unit. And if we are clicking on a point of interest that is a unit, we will see this panel with this information. So we mainly have a space for an image, then a description space, then the unit information and buttons. And of course, this can be moved around wherever you want. In this filter search, we also have the ability to switch to surroundings, and we also have the ability to switch to amenities. So I'm going to click on filter search, and I'm going to click on amenities, and that will also show us the amenities of a building. So I'm going to click on filter search again, and I'm going to click here. So we have section view, we have gallery view, and we also have the ability to explore any of the units we have. And during this mode, I've disabled some elements because they overlap with each other. To make the development easier, I disabled them. For now, they are disabled, but they will be enabled as we go. So at any point when I click on return, this will take us back to our top-down view, the filter search view. So if I click on amenities, I can click here and that will show us this amenity. It will show us its information, and we will see by design different lists based on how you set them up. So in the surroundings, we made 3 lists. If you add any other surrounding and set its list, it will appear here dynamically without extra work on your end. Of course, we will take a look at that in the upcoming lessons on how we can set our points of interest and so on. So yeah, this is the project so far. This is the template. I always call it between project and template. I think it can easily be both. I really hope this quick overview is useful, and I hope that this project will be useful for your projects, for your clients, to make them interactive, to make them explorable, to make them memorable. If you have any questions, if you have any feedback, I will leave links for you on where you can leave your feedback, where you can join our community of like-minded people who are also working with the project here to implement in their projects. And I am really happy to see you here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay hydrated, take care, and I will see you on the next one.